Hi there, my name is Jen and I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some collage material to use in my journals with some of my new stencils that I've made. These are mostly ferns and branches, but I want to use a thin material so that I can use it for collaging into my art journal later and my collage work. So I have some, let's see what I got here. I have some wet strength tissue paper and I have some medical exam paper that I'm going to use today, I think. And let's just pull out some of that. And I've also got some, I think it's tea bag paper. It's got this like little, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a kind of a lines texture on it. So I might try some on that as well. We'll see how it goes. See what I get. Okay, so I'm going to put my paper to the side so I know where I can reach what I need. Wet strength tissue. And I got some cardstock and some regular copy paper there as well, just to, you know, if I need to do a pickup print or whatever. Okay, so today for paint, I've decided I'm going to use these Winsor & Newton Galleria acrylics. So I've got a deep turquoise, powder blue, Naples yellow, and a pale olive. I think those would be good colors for collage. So let's get the brayers out and let's get rolling. Okay, I'm going to start with, let's start with something kind of bold. I'm going to take this stencil here, which is like a stylized fern leaf. Pick some extra stuff off the plate. I'm going to use this deep turquoise first. It's one of my favorite colors. Like, it's just so luscious. Okay, nice thin layer. Okay, and here's the stencil. I'm going to try and fit these in a way that makes sense for this plate because they are going to be for collage. Which means that it doesn't have to be a decent, like a beautiful overall composition for what's actually on the plate. This is a more intricate one. Let's put that one down too. And then I think we don't have quite enough room here for anything else. But to make things interesting, I'm just going to use something to make some texture. Maybe just this popsicle stick. I'm just going to make something a little more interesting in there. And let's use some medical exam paper to pick that up. I feel like my paint is already kind of dry, so hopefully this works. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a good impression here. No, way too dry. I don't know what happened there. Okay, I gotta go faster. I do like that though. And that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to pick this up maybe with something else and we'll use it for collage in a different way. Try that again in a second now. I'm going to pick this up with this pale olive. And I think I need to put on a little bit more paint and move a little faster. So let's do that. Maybe stop talking so much. Okay, use a piece of regular paper. That's one thing that I've noticed. We recently moved from Toronto to Alberta, to Calgary, and it's much drier here, which means my paints dry faster. So, you know, I need to work faster, and I should also maybe invest in getting some of that retarder medium so I can slow things down a little bit. Ooh, this was a good idea. Look at that. Wasn't what I was going for originally. But this will be great for collage. Like, look at the colors on here. Okay, let's put that aside to dry. And I'll try that idea again to get some transparent papers with those stencils. So let's put on a little bit more paint and let's go a little bit faster. Stop dilly-dallying, Jen. Okay. Stencil. Stencil. Paper. This is wet strength tissue paper. There we go. There we go. The fun thing about the wet strength tissue paper is you can see right through it, so you can see exactly where you need to put more pressure with burnishing your paper down. So, all right, I'm gonna pull that one up. There we go, and I'm gonna pick up this other print underneath as well, because those semi-transparent ones are often a lot of fun for details. Okay, this is wet strength tissue paper again. I'm going to leave this one a little bit longer because I want to pick up all the paint that's on that plate there. Okay. I like this a lot. This also looks like a Christmas tree, which is super fun. Okay, while that's sitting, I'm going to decide what my next layer is going to be. Maybe these guys. These are all, see, this matches that. These are all little ferns. They're all my own stencil designs. You can find them in my shop. But the fun thing about these is it's a digital design. So essentially, you download the file, and you send it to your Cricut or your Silhouette machine, and you can print them out of, these are just poly binder dividers that I get at the dollar store. So you can cut them out of that, and it's cheap, it's easy, it's fun, it's instant. You don't have to wait for anything in the mail. You can resize them to however big or small you like. There's lots of versatility with that. So, all right, let's pull this print. Nice clean pull. Look at that. Great. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now should I do the same color or different color? Let's go with that pale olive again. Or the one we used to do the pickup print, pale olive. This one is nice and opaque. Okay, nice even coat. Try and get the brayer lines out. And stencils down. I don't care about the edges on these stencils because they do make things kind of interesting, and I can always, you know, cut it to what I want. I do care more about the edges on the masks though, because I often like to have a little extra space there. Not enough space for that one. Let's go with some of these, maybe this guy. Okay. Got a full exam paper this time. This is a little more opaque, this stuff, but if you use like a gloss medium, it will mostly disappear in your collage. I feel like my paint is too dry again. Yeah, totally is. Well, that's a little disappointing. Some of this I think is okay, but I gotta go faster. Faster, faster, faster. All right, what do we want to do for pickup print here? I'm going to do a bit of an experiment. I'm going to use this powder blue and put it on, and then I will take the, oh no, let's put this back. I'm going to do powder blue over top of the masks. And yeah, stick it back right where it was. And then I will pull the masks off before I print with it. So I'm hoping that'll get me like a two-toned collage paper. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna use this to pick it up. Try and be fast, try and be fast. Some of the green paint is sticking, but that's totally fine. Okay, let's put wet straight tissue down. Oh yeah, I think that'll work better. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. Okay, let's pull this up. Oh, I like this too. Okay, let me find something. I'm just gonna use this so you can see kind of what's happening in this print. So I've got two tones here. I've got the blue and I've got the green. So I've got a little bit of a halo effect up here. Halo effect. And then down here with the masks, it picked up, or the stencils, it picked up some of the inside of the stencil in the first print, but not a lot. And so some of that was left, and so it comes through. This will be really fun. I like this. Yeah. And I got a nice clean plate. Okay. Let's try that again. Not exactly that, but let's try these masks again. This time I'm going to use the same color as what I originally wanted. But I found my slow dry. So this is a slow dry fluid additive for acrylic. So essentially what it does is it thins things out a little bit and it reduces the drying time. So I'm going to put this in here and see if that helps with the speed thing. So I got a bop of paint. I'm going to put a drop of this on there. Just a little bit. 2 drops. And then I'm just going to mix this around and see how that goes. Oh, I can see the consistency is different already. So yeah, we're going to mix it around really good and roll her out nice and solid. Yeah, there we go. But I think I put too much in because you can see it's kind of separating my paint a little bit. But you know what? Let's give it a go. You never know what you're gonna get, right? So let's put the stencils back. Got one there, one here. And that one. Okay, and I'm gonna pick this, let's go with this medical exam paper. And yeah, that's wet enough, I can feel it. So I'm going over all the little creases, or little openings in the stencils and the corners of the masks. And I'm gonna pull that up. Yes, this is what I wanted originally. See, I don't know if you can see that, the paint might be too light, but yeah, so there's some areas that will be transparent and then there's some areas that will be opaque. All right, let's see if I can pick up the other one. It feels too dry. Second print. There we go. This paper's got a little bit of paint on it already, but that's okay. We might be okay. Just let it sit for a minute. I think putting my lids on my paint might be helping, or not helping, what's happening with them drying out. Okay, while we let that sit, I'm going to decide the next one. So when you use your stencils, you don't want to let them dry on top of each other because they'll get stuck. So that's why I kind of try to spread them out a little bit. Okay, so I have this stencil of these ferns, and here's the mask parts of them. So let's make a couple of prints with that, and then I'll get this guy in there too. So I think I'm gonna go with the dark color for these. Oh, this came up nicely. Nice. Probably can't see it because it's too light though. Okay, let's go with this guy. This is the deep turquoise. So I'm going to put a little bit of that slow dry on again, maybe just one drop. And mix her up. And roll it out. Going with the stencil. Okay, get on all those little corners. Try and be quick so that I can get the second print. Okay, that's great. That's what I want. And then this one, get a second piece. Oh, this will be what I want to. So we'll let that sit for a minute. But this looks great. This is what I was thinking, because these are good for cutting apart and using in my collage. So, yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to use these masks instead. I think I'm going to use the same color, though, so that I have more. They won't be exactly the same because the masks and the stencils work or a little bit differently, but it'll get me what I want, I think. So that looks good. Okay, more turquoise blue. A little bit of paint, a little bit of slow dry. One drop is enough. Mix it around. Yeah, I think one drop is better because I've noticed this isn't separating quite the same as the last one was. Okay, masks. Let's use the ones I haven't used yet. We'll use this one too. And the other one, just because I have the room. Making good connection with the plate, especially in the detail areas. And pulling that print. Ooh. And we'll pull the masks off and get the second print. Let's leave it down just a little bit longer. Okay. Now see, this is interesting to me because this one here, I think it was that one. This is one that we used before, so it had paint on it already, so it behaved slightly differently than the other masks. Which is fine. It's just funny how sometimes the smallest things will make a difference in what you're doing. So okay, I'm gonna put these away, and I think I've just got this one left that I want to make maybe a full page even of in one particular color. Which color do I want? You know what? Oh, there's still some blue on my plate, so I'm gonna clean that up. And then pick up the water. All right, I think I'm gonna go with let's go with this guy, pale olive. So we're just gonna do this one stencil right in the middle. One mask, I should say. Okay, so there's a good amount of paint. Put a tiny bit of slow dry. Mix her up nice and good. Try and get rid of the brighter lines. I'll put my mask right in the middle, and I'm going to print this twice. Once with the wet strength tissue. So this is something that I would use to overlay something, because the transparent part will be where the mask is. So I will probably end up gluing this on top of something to block out everything except for that area. So there's the print, and then the second one is the mask print. In this one, I'm going to put it kind of over the side a little bit because I don't need the whole page. And I'm just going to pick that up. I'll use the rest of the page for something else. And there you go. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this off, actually, before I get too crazy here. And then I can use this paper for something else later. All right, so I'm going to show you what I got here then. So I got that. This is the last one we did. Mask print. So this one was, okay, so we got 4 here that are quite similar. So that one was with the stencil. This is with the stencil. This is with the masks. So that's the first print with the masks, and the second print with the masks. So first with stencil, second with stencil, first with masks, second with masks. So they're fairly similar, but you can see that the first print is always more vibrant. And the second print usually has this kind of texture from the stencil on it. So I don't know, they'll be useful for collage for sure. I'm looking forward to playing with that. All right, and then I have these. These might be too light to see. This is the pale olive. This is the one that ended up being the double print. I'm just going to put it on top of white so you can see what's going on here. So this will be really fun. I want to do this on purpose later, I think. I'm going to retry that. And then we got this one. I think that's my favorite print of the day. So this was the first print with the stencil. But no, this was the one that didn't work quite initially. And that's the reprint with the stencil. second print with that same stencil set. And then this one was the one that didn't quite work. So anyway, I got a lot of collage material and a few good colors here. So I'll put that in my stash and it'll show up in my journals. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my content, please remember to like and subscribe. Hope to see you back soon. Bye.